Hello and welcome. This is Tanya, a psychic and clairvoyant, and I am excited to talk to you this week. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Do me a favor and please take a moment to like and subscribe, and feel free to jump in the comments because I love seeing you there. What a week. Yowza. So many lawsuits, so little time. Now, before I get started, legal disclaimer. Lost my point here for a second. Legal disclaimer. All readings and messages shared here are for entertainment purposes only and are reflective of intuitive impressions, not facts. Now that I got that out of the way, let's begin. So the BBC is suing, actually, Trump is suing the BBC because he feels that a video that they edited made him not look well. The video is focused on January 6th, and I forgot how much money he's suing them for. He's on a suing fee, a spree. He feels like he can get money from everybody. But it's not going to work that way because now it's down to discovery. So they're going to force his people to pull out documents to prove the BBC is correct. So it's not something that's going to work well for him, but I don't think he gets it because he's still of the Roy Cohn School of Law. His process that he asks his lawyers to do is to just hammer home, and keep barraging the process, and it's like it's exhausting. He thinks that he can exhaust the judicial system, but you can't. It runs out. And matter of fact, case in point, it has run out in certain cases in the United States, which forced them to dismiss the lawsuits. So, and suing the BBC, that's a different jurisdiction. And they have a different way of handling things. The way it works here versus the way it works over in the UK is different. Case in point, look at Harry when it comes to him suing. A lot of us feel like it's black and white, but it's a little more involved. It's a little more involved when you look at the US versus the UK. So that being said, it's interesting. He's not going to win, and it's going to be embarrassing from him on a world stage because this stuff is going to come out and he can't stop it. It's really, really interesting. And I know the Daily Mail is, I wouldn't say in his pocket, but they are supporters of his, and they like pushing his agenda. Rupert Murdoch and his family is just responsible for a lot of this malignant stuff that has been spread in the United States. There's actually a really good documentary about the Rupert Murdoch and how he got into this being the newspaper industry, and how he started to buy up certain newspapers to kind of put his slant on the world opinion and the world news. And look at where we are today. It's literally like his version of what's happening in the world. And he also has like a hand up Fox News's behind. So it's really, it's scary, truly scary. But no, this is, it's coming to, I wouldn't say an end, but it's coming to the point where we're starting to see consequences for him and no end in sight. And that's the scary thing, is because everything's pointing at him. He's got so many cases coming at him. And, truth be told, he doesn't have that much liquid money. There's a case for, I think it's $474 million, and he's trying to get somebody to back him in this. And I think it's due by the first quarter. And he's concerned because he doesn't feel that he can justifiably have this money. But at the same time, you've got all these crypto accounts, you've got all these deals that you're making with all these countries, and you can't come up with 500 million, give or take. So it's very interesting. Forensic accountant needs to look into his dealings. I do see a bit of a tribunal coming when it comes to the U.S. government and all these people who are doing, all these politicians, all these attorney generals. And I say attorney generals because they're not going to be in place by, I wouldn't say this time next year. I would say the first quarter, latest the first quarter, it's going to be cleaned house. And a lot of these people are going to be sitting in front of the Senate and Congress and facing accountability and facing lawsuits and facing jail. A lot of them are going, and Pam Bondi, I'm looking at you. Dan Bongino, Bongino, I'm referring to you as well. You know, there is a lot of lawsuits happening with them. And interesting to note, because before I got on this, I was just kind of reading my notes. Dan Bongino had made a comment about how he gave up so much to take that job. Well, because of that job, you're going to be giving up a lot, because there's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming towards you um, for civil lawsuits that you're going to be paying out of pocket. So between the legal fees and the money out of pocket, and there will be jail time. It's kind of over for you. It's interesting because I feel like these people, and when I say these people, the people who follow him and listen to him and go in the direction that he asked them to, are going to be having a come to Jesus moment where they're going to be in court crying and seeing the errors of their ways. But it's going to be too bad, too sad. Sorry, I didn't mean to joke like that, but it's just kind of like they feverishly followed him, off the cliff and thought he was going to give them a parachute to sail their way on the way down. But it's not happening that way. Like that woman in Colorado who worked for the voting system. It's not the voting system, but she attacked the voting system. And she's actually in prison. And she thought she was going to be pardoned. She's actually was asking for people to break her out. She's in jail, and she's asking people to legally break her out of jail. And Trump verbally said he was going to pardon her, which was just kind of semantics, because you can't pardon somebody who was charged statewide. Federal doesn't affect states. So, and I think the Attorney General kind of got on television and was kind of like saying the same thing, like, haha, no, that's like April Fool's. That's not happening. So yeah, like I said, even his people aren't buying it anymore. And when I say his people, his followers, the people who voted for him, and the sycophants are having at a loss trying to explain or justify themselves. I saw the FCC guy on the news trying to do the same. And actually, he's another one who's going to be stripped of his powers and forced to explain himself. But yeah, in the end, the rain is coming. Yeah, Trump is very scared. He has so much coming at him, and he can't control it. And actually, it's interesting because he's really scared because he's now quiet. And all this Epstein stuff, all of a sudden, they released 10% of the information. 10%. They already announced impeachment for the people involved who are supposed to release it. So yeah, it's the wheels are turning. The wheels are definitely turning. Jack Smith did the testimony to the Judiciary Committee, and the interesting thing is they tried to railroad him and make him look bad, but he's just a cool cucumber. He's so well versed, well educated, and he knows his facts. They couldn't trip him up. But the truth is coming out. He's not going away. He's going to be coming back come the first quarter. It's the work that he did was very effective, and it's going to play out. Okay. Oh yeah, and Erica Kirk. It's interesting. It's just her husband died, and she's on this kind of grand tour, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But going back to not getting off of her for a minute, Barry Weiss, who is going to get kicked out at CBS because they hired her and she really has no experience. Ratings are going to tank. The board is going to show her the door. I see a similar exit that there was a CNN guy that was hired that used to be the producer of Stephen Colbert. And he just didn't mesh in that CNN space. And they quickly got rid of him. And I see the same thing going to her. They're speaking to the wrong audience. She's taking the CBS audience that is a particular audience, and she's trying to make them a Fox News audience. And those are two separate things. And for her to do, Barry Weiss to do a town hall with Erica Kirk, it tanked, literally tanked. And she's literally, and the fact that Barry Weiss did the interview instead of a newscaster shows her ego. So it's very interesting, but yeah, she's going to be thrown the door. And Erica Kirk on CBS was just, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? But yeah, it's going to be a good new year. All these people, and by I say all these people, a lot of these Republican heads, a lot of these talking heads that are spouting Trump's 10 commandments, justify, they're not going to be around visibly on television come the new year. As I'm speaking, a lot of these people are retiring, going away, changing jobs, looking to do other things because the truth is coming out, and they're going to show their involvement in it. And there's no justification, especially since the guy who you thought you can pardon you and back you is slowly, basically his health and everything, he's just deteriorating. All these MRIs and all these, health issues are literally coming to a head. He has the same thing that his father had. The dementia is setting in, and it's so visible. It was visible before, and they tried to justify it, all those word salads, but they can't justify it anymore. You can't, what was it? Don't believe your lying eyes, believe what I tell you. They're not buying it anymore. And they bought it before, but now not so much. So yeah, enjoy your holidays. It's going to be a beautiful new year. I'll be back before the new year, but too, because there's so much going on. But what I want to say is don't get so hooked on the news, because things are changing. Things are changing for the good. Good will win over evil. It's a slow process, but take your time. Don't get too wrapped up in what the news is. Just know that good is going to win over evil. It's a slow process, but we're going to get our country back. Democracy will win in the end. So, again, this is Tanya. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And again, if you want a reading, don't forget to email me. The information is in the comment section. Wishing you a wonderful holiday season. But I'll be back. Take care.